Welcome back to Plunkerville Railroad, my third chapter. Last time at Plunkerville I mentioned that I had repaired my dad's water tower, and this water tower was badly crushed, so I reassembled it and glued it and so on, and inserted a Lionel tender whistle. So I've got it all set here. Thought I would just show you how it works. Here's the button, and I've made this special grill, and I raised the roof so it's well ventilated. So let's push the button and see how it works. It's relatively loud. It allows the chamber to echo. So that's it for the whistle. It functions well, and I can use it on the layout. Now this particular the next unit is this train. This is my 1934 Marx Commodore Vanderbilt. I named it after the Silver Fox, the famous British locomotive of the 1930s, and I painted it as such. It's a custom paint job. What I'll do is I'll show it to you. This is a pre-war engine. It has the pickups of that period of time, and it has the eyebrow in the front, which is typical of the pre-World War II Lionel Commodore Vanderbilts. All of this is custom painted. I started out with white, then I made a template and masked it off and painted it. So this is a bit unusual, but it's my creation. So I thought I'd wired it up. I had a little trouble getting there. We got it on. I wired up this Lionel crossing station, which is quite typical. I see a lot of other excuse me, a lot of other layouts have this. It's a very common station, and I made a custom track isolating one of the rails, one of the common rails, so that I could use it as a switching system. Thereby I have the common here, and this is an isolated common which runs back to the crossed station building, and the hots run off of this on this side. So when I run the engine over, it'll complete the circuit. It'll complete the common side from the this side over to that, and it'll operate the building. So I'll just push the engine so you can get an idea how it works. This is homemade. There you go. It completes the circuit. Okay, the next thing I thought I might show is some of my buildings. Earlier I mentioned that I might not use the Mystery Knights of the Sea hall, but I've decided it functions all right with the scale of the automobiles. I have a mixture of automobiles here, from Plasticville to Hot Wheels, which I custom painted. All these cars would, when you paid $1 or so at the store Walmart, they had decals all over them. So I took them apart and painted them of what I thought was close to the original paint job. For instance, this Corvette right here was just covered with decals, Hot Wheels stickers, and it looked pretty hideous. So I took it apart and painted it very close to a Corvette color, which is called Gold Leaf back in the 60s. So it's a split window 63 coupe. And some of these other cars are of that era, from the 1940s on, actually from the 30s on up to the 1950s. For instance, this is a 1936 Bugatti. That's a 1940 Willys coupe. This one in particular is out of style. Actually, it's a 69 Chevrolet Blazer but it made a nice police vehicle. And these vehicles over here are Plasticville vehicles, which came with this. All the Plasticville motels had the little vehicles with them. I custom painted that as a police car so it would match that one. And these other vehicles over here are all, with the exception of one, are all Hot Wheels. This one was a amber color. I didn't care for it, so I painted it white. It's a 1936 Cord. This is a 41 Ford Coupe. It's a 36 Auburn Boat Tail, 56 Ford pickup truck, a 55 through 57, difficult to distinguish the years, Chevrolet pickup, a 55 Chevy, 57 Chevy, a 52 Buick, a 51 Studebaker, and this one is a, it's hard to distinguish what they had in mind when they put that together. It's a 49 to a 51 Mercury, which was, when they customized them, they were known as lead sleds. And this, I believe, is a Lafayette fire truck in that general area. That about pretty much takes care of this aspect. Okay, that is a diner, which was given to me. Actually, I believe it had candy in it originally, and it worked out very well on the layout. Okay, what I planned to do here was to open up a box of some cars that I just recently bought. If you notice, this is a homemade boxcar, which started out as a tender, which was scratched up, banged up, and had a dent in it. So I decided to take it apart and repaint it, and I labeled it a local supermarket, as you can see. So it's a boxcar transformed into it's a tender transformed into a boxcar. And I'll show you what I plan to do with these others over here that are in the box. That's what I plan to do with these, is to transfer them into boxcars. Let me see, I have a knife here. And I'll just open it up and take them out. So these are all bought recently from a Lionel's store online, eBay, and they're located in New Jersey. And pretty nice outfits. If I ever get down there, I'd like to see their store. As you can see, they do have their advertising online, and they're specialists in Lionel, of course. So we'll see what we got for cars. These are all tenders. I bought them as a group. There's 4 of them. And they're all halfway decent condition. I should be able to, without too much trouble, transfer them into boxcars. Okay, this one's a New York Central boxcar, which that one was originally. This is exactly what that was originally. So you can see with a paint job, you got yourself a boxcar. Okay, the next one, let's see what we have. Oh, they wrapped them up well. All right, I've got a knife here. And oh, this is basically the same. It's the same stampings, the same machine that stamped out the product, just painted a little differently. They said there was one that was damaged. This one I'll have to take apart and straighten it out. But it's, other than that, it's in really good condition. So that's number 2. Now let's see what we got here. And another one. Same thing as number 2. This one's in better condition. Doesn't seem to have any dents in it. Just a matter of repainting it. So there I've got 3 new boxcars, potential boxcars. And this one is slightly different. Has a grid on it. It's a New York Central, but I plan to paint the roof flat black so it won't be that noticeable. And I'll turn it into a boxcar as well. So that's 4 tenders, Marx tenders, that I plan to turn into boxcars similar to that. I'll probably paint them a little differently. I plan to make, I always was a big Studebaker fan. I plan to make a Studebaker boxcars with Studebaker decals, parts and Studebaker parts shipment, something of that line. And I'm coming up with other ideas for other vintage labeling for boxcars. That's basically it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed my my engine here, my Commodore Vanderbilt, which is custom built, custom painted, and I'm quite proud of it. It's a nice looking engine with a custom paint job on it. It just shows what can be done with some of those sort of bland looking black engines. You can make them look quite presentable. Well, I want to thank you very much for viewing us, and that I hope to go on to another video in the near future. Thank you.
Next time, step up to finer smoking pleasure with Dutch Masters, the fine cigar.